So when I'm shopping for just myself, I found my average per week to be about $80, which is a lot of money. But this year I've been living with 2 other girls, and we split our grocery bill 3 ways. And we probably spend between like 35 to 40 a week, which is like so much more cost effective because it's like spread over 3 people or buying one big thing versus like 3 little things.
Probably under $100. So like probably 70, 80 bucks a week.
I live with 2 other girls and we split our groceries, so it ends up being about 150 total, so about 50 each.
And I actually budget myself every week, and I make sure I don't spend more than $60 a week on groceries. And then I would say I spend another 15 out with food. I try to never spend more than like 70 bucks a week.
I usually spend about $60 to $70.
Including like if you count dining hall swipes at $10 a pop and everything.
Okay, well then yeah, too. I mean, I don't know how much my dining plan is, but it's definitely expensive.
I usually eat on campus. I usually have a meal plan or spending like my $50 and stuff. Probably like once every 2 weeks I'll go grocery shopping, but nothing major. I'll probably do like $60 or so, but usually eat like 2 meal swipes a day, and then like maybe 1 thing at Jasmine's. So I guess like a lunch is like what, 11 or so. And 2 of those are like $30.
Through the beginning of the semester, when I was like making money but didn't have a kitchen, I definitely spent a ton. Like, because you eat out and everything's like $10, and so you end up, it was a lot, it was excessive. But now, since I'm trying to save, I try to not spend more than $7 a day, which like amounts to $50 a week in food.
I would say probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $50. I have like a $50 budget a week for my parents to spend on groceries.
When I was spending $80 a week, it was like really healthy and ideal and healthy. I would like buy everything in the health food aisle, and mostly organic as well. This year, my housemates don't share as much of a passion for buying organic, so we won't always buy organic, but we always eat really healthy and buy healthy things. So I think that on that kind of budget, you can be a really healthy college student.
I think I get a pretty good diet. I make sure I get all the basics. I used to work in the health food industry, so I know a lot about as far as like what you absolutely need in your base diet, what you need for muscle building, what you need for just like to make sure you're still sustained. I make sure I have at least once a day a vegetable, a fruit, some kind of protein, and 1 carbohydrate.
It matches. I don't spend too much, so I'm not eating too exquisite food.
We can't afford organic food, like organic fruits and vegetables, but we're able to get yogurt, fruits, vegetables, bread. It's like very, very basic things.
I rarely eat 3 meals in a day just because I don't have time. So it could be healthier.
It could be better. It definitely could be better.
It's not great. I try to save any money that I can, so I get like, I don't know, not name brand things, and I can't really eat the vegetables and everything that I would want to in order to be a healthier person. So a lot of times I'm stuck with like frozen meals and things like that, and just eating a lot of pizza and just kind of garbage food just because it's quick and it's easy and it's a bit cheaper.
I kind of feel like when I'm in Jasmine's or like the cab, it's kind of just like, do you want fried food or fried food? I don't think it's ideal, and I tend to like try and go for like at least like 1 salad and then like, you know, like our pasta or something, just so I'm filling myself with not total garbage.
When I was doing the $50 a week for groceries, I would buy them at Adams, and of course like there was always an extra if I wanted to eat out and stuff, but they just have like the best prices, so it was pretty like fruit and like vegetable based diet, but it was full.
I would say that I eat pretty healthy. We buy like basic healthy things that we can combine into different sorts of meals, although I tend to eat the same like 5 meals probably.
cook a lot more for myself when I'm away than when I'm at home. When I'm at home, I work at a bakery, so I eat really unhealthily. My mom is always treating me because I'm at home, or it's for the holidays, so I eat not as healthy at home.
Well, at home, I have my mom primarily cook, so it's much healthier, much more of a full meal, and it's obviously much more delicious, and food is just always there, so I'm eating a lot more, and healthier.
Actually, it's worse at home because unfortunately my family is not very healthy.
I feel like we just have better quality things. Like we don't. I mean, like in my house, like my mom doesn't go to ShopRite and buy like ShopRite brand.
At home, as of right now, I'm not really grocery shopping much on my own. It's sort of more of a family kind of thing, and I do eat a little healthier just because I think it's something that the family tries to do together.
That's one thing we can't afford, are like nice cheeses. We have to do craft.
I feel worse about eating bad when people like my family are watching me and everything. So yeah, I do try and keep it healthier, and it's a lot easier because I'm not necessarily spending as much money myself and everything.
Like usually when I'm at home, I'll be like eating cold cuts from the deli, or I don't know, just like making myself food that's better because I don't have a car here, and that's mainly the reason I can't always go to the grocery store and get like cold cuts or like they don't stay fresh on.
I guess like I don't really cook meat. My parents cook meat, and then they have more food in the house on a normal basis than I do.
Yeah, I would just say that it is more difficult to maintain a healthy eating habits when you're at school because your schedule isn't consistent.
Absolutely. When I'm stressed financially, I will opt out of buying organic. I'll opt out of going down the specialty food aisle, which is my favorite aisle in the grocery store.
Yeah, I'm always conscious of how much I'm paying for what I'm buying.
I definitely spend way too much money at school. I should probably bring lunch more often and be.
Yeah, when I go out, I feel stressed out. But when I buy groceries, I don't feel stressed out. I generally go to places like Adams, which I look for all the deals first. I come in and I make sure like I hit all the sales sections.
I think price is definitely a factor when I'm picking stuff out. I tend to go with like the not name brand things.
Whenever I go out to eat, I try to get something I absolutely cannot make at home because it makes me so mad if I go out and pay for something that I could make easily.
I definitely eat my fair share of like the ramen noodles for like 20 cents a thing. So that's just water and salt, and I do feel terrible about it, but like I'll try and get the low sodium one if I can.
Yes, because when I go to the grocery store or something, when I'm at the register, I see the number pop up on the screen. It's always higher than I thought it'd be, and then obviously like going out, it just takes a toll on your wallet.
100%. Because I mean, it's one of the, besides like where you live, that's the other necessity, and that's the other thing like you have to spend money on.
I would say like when it gets to the end of the semester, like always, everyone's just like not buying groceries. And when I was living in Manhattan towards the end of semester 2, I was just eating out all the time because it's just fun.
I would buy organic, but I don't have like the money to buy organic.
I always buy the store brand. So I would say that it does. And like I won't buy almonds because they're ridiculously expensive.
I think I could, but I would have to not buy everything. I like to have variety and I like to have options. And like week to week you might need to buy more things. I don't know, $50 a week.
Yeah.
No,
No.
because sometimes we run out of olive oil and olive oil is really expensive.
Yes, I generally do, luckily.
In an ideal, week of eating, definitely not.
I think it could be possible.
If you have a house and a kitchen, yeah, like 100%. I actually like sometimes was spending $40 a week.
Yeah, definitely.
That would definitely compromise my health.
30?
Yeah.
Yeah, without like food stamps or coupons or anything.
And still get the amount that I get, or survive off 30.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, You're gonna ask me if I could do it for $1?
No way. There is, especially with like the price of everything going up as far as like milk and eggs, that's like one of the basics. Like you need dairy, unless you're like lactose intolerant.
30? Probably not.
Yeah, 30 would be a big stretch.
I guess like if I'm drinking water with every meal and limiting myself to what I need to eat instead of like what fills me up entirely.
30, I don't know, you'd probably be having to eat like a lot more like pasta or like the stuff that like kind of starch things. It would definitely be more of a sacrifice.
I think you could, if you cut out like fresh produce and we're just buying boxed like soup and pasta, you definitely could.
Absolutely think that people with minimum wage jobs are struggling to put healthy food on the table.
Yes, I definitely see that's an issue. I mean, if you don't have the like, especially the quality of food, yeah, it's such a big issue today. Is like where our food's coming from, and like it is. While it is, people say like, oh, buy local. It's more expensive.
Multiple documentaries will show you that people who make $7.25 an hour take their kids to McDonald's. That is not nutrition. That is not healthy.
I do not like the minimum wage in New York. I don't think it's possible. Minimum wage was supposed to be only for college kids, like getting part-time jobs. Like it shouldn't be that. It should be, minimum wage should be, if this is your full-time job, you should be getting paid more than that.
In my ethics class, we just watched Food Inc. and there was some like lady who worked at some farm full-time and like all she could afford to feed her kids was like McDonald's stuff from the $3 menu or whatever. And it just kind of puts into perspective for you that like other people who like actually support their families on minimum wage jobs have trouble.
I think that we absolutely need to raise the minimum wage because the health in our country, as you can see, is horrible. Like everyone's obese, like everyone's overweight, everyone has health issues, and maybe increasing the minimum wage will decrease obesity. Maybe we should try that.
I think that's kind of a complicated topic as far as like inflation goes, or I think it's more focused on that these people who have families need to be finding a job that they can support their families on.
I don't think everyone with a minimum wage job is struggling, but of course there are people. I mean, I think if you work at least 40 hours a week, you should be able to make a decent living off of that and provide for your family. But I mean, it's a complex issue, which is what we see going on with the national debate.
I mean, I can't speak for everybody that makes minimum wage, like Brendan was saying, but yeah, I would imagine that it's very difficult to at least to like get everything that you need nutritionally, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, with all the other expenses that a person would have to pay, such as maybe rent, and obviously there's taxes and, just clothing, everything. Food factors in there, so you gotta make sure they all work. And especially if you're feeding a family or something, it'd be tough. It'd be really tough.
Oh, they struggle to put food on the table. They struggle to make rent. Minimum wage is ridiculous. You can't, if you're working 40 hours a week and you're not able to provide, that's just wrong.
It's tough, because there are people who are working minimum wage jobs that definitely need more income to support themselves and their families. But there's also, jobs that can't necessarily afford to pay people more, and some people, maybe like high schoolers who have minimum job wages, who don't necessarily need a living wage. So it's tough, and I think there's got to be a balance somehow.
It's definitely more complicated. I think if you raise the minimum wage, then it's inflated, like the price of living will go up to match it. I don't think you could just raise the minimum wage and have everything else remain consistent. So they would still be in the same, they would have the same confliction because there would still be an imbalance.